Well, here with us now is James Boyes, Associate Professor of Politics at Richmond International University here in London. Good to have you here. How critical do you think these two debates that we've been following avidly will be in this presidential race? Well,
the two debates that we saw this week were critical. At the polling that came out yesterday, the voters were asked, what caused you to vote this way? And 51% said that they were convinced in the last week, and 88% of those said that the debates had been critical.
Is this a vote then for Newt Gingrich or against Mitt Romney?
It's a little of both, because for about the last 12-18 months, the Conservative wing of the Republican Party have been desperate for a true Conservative to come forward. It was they that asked Rick Perry to join the race at the last minute, which is why he came in unprepared and crashed out very quickly.
Because we can see how important it is then to perform well on these occasions. When he had that slip-up, didn't he, where he tried to make 3 points and forgot the third one.
Shocking. And if anything, it was Gingrich's performance on the last two debates. Whatever you would believe about his politics, he was masterful, he came across in full possession of the facts, was robust and took the attack to the media very much in expectation of what you'd want from a Republican candidate at this point.
Now, the momentum then is with the Gingrich camp as they head to Florida, and that's going to feel quite cosy for him.
It is. He's from Georgia, which is a neighbouring state. The main reason that Mitt Romney won New Hampshire was because he was from Massachusetts, a favourite son. Mitt Romney's had a terrible few days. He'd come into the South Carolina primary, the de facto winner of Iowa, New Hampshire and the expectant winner of South Carolina. And he's been stripped of Iowa, he's lost in South Carolina, and the momentum has gone.
We know that Mitt Romney is a very wealthy man, don't we? So why is everyone getting so hot under the collar about his tax returns when it's going to show a number with lots of noughts at the end?
I think there's two issues to this. One is the overall element of secrecy. He hasn't released these things. The general rule of thumb is if you've got something you want to hide, release a lot of data at the same time so that the bad stuff is buried. Secondly, it's about timing. He seemed to be a corporate raider, a Michael Douglas figure, if you will, from Wall Street, at a time of austerity in the United States. And when this guy starts talking about paying 15% income tax, I don't know about you, but I wish I was paying 15% income tax. And the way he's gone about making this money, it's an image problem as much as anything else.
But if you hang on to the paperwork everybody wants to see, they're going to scrutinise it all the more closely, aren't they?
The Clintons faced the same thing back in the early 90s. The special prosecutor said, release the files, let us just get it out of the way. And Hillary Clinton said, no, we're going to hang on to this. And I think Romney today has come out and admitted they've made a critical mistake in not releasing material earlier.
If you had to say who you think is going to get the nomination at this point, and I know it's not really fair, but who would you say?
Well, what I'd say is that 3 days ago, the momentum was with Mitt Romney, but what you've seen over the last 24, 48 hours is a sea change. The momentum is now with Newt Gingrich going into Florida. If he can, and I expect that he will win Florida, then he's going to have an awful lot of momentum and money flowing to his career, to his campaign, which will propel him into Super Tuesday.
Is it possible, though, that somebody else could turn up almost at the last minute, because these things are not linear, are they? You don't have to be in it from the very beginning to finally get the nomination.
You don't, but what you do need is to have the apparatus in place in the states going forward, and it's often the apparatus and the money that is most important and not necessarily the policies, which is one of the reasons that Mitt Romney isn't out of this just yet.
James Boyes will no doubt talk to you again between now and November, but for the moment, thank you very much.
Thank you.